DLC development prior to the game release slash the season pass that only God knows what evolves, because normally the developers don't say exactly what the season pass will unfold and will include, or you even have the example of the amazing guys at the CD Project Red, friends of Merrick. I believe they are his
Neighbors.
slaves.
Neighbors.
His slaves, and Merrick is cashing in on all the Witcher 3 money. That told to the audience that people were getting 16 free DLCs or something like that right off the bat, and then they have the season pass DLC. And some people started to get angry because some of the DLCs, some of what they call DLCs, are like, oh, it's a new armor set for Geralt, and people were like, but the other DLC that you gave me was like a full 1 hour gameplay. And the question, first firstly, let's not debate what people should consider DLC or not in terms of season passes, but should the developer already know what DLCs he's going to offer about the game and start developing them before the game? Because like Batman already had the Batgirl DLC released, and obviously they were making it while the game was broken.
Hmm. But I think uh, at least the bigger companies, the protocol that the guideline they have, they need to have those things like planned out. They cannot just go in and say to the uh, like the how do you say it? The guys with the money. They
Business.
cannot, yeah, they cannot just say to them that we are gonna do something. They need to have every like spreadsheet and that kind of stuff ready, and they need to know it that before. Like it's really complicated for them just to come up with things
Yeah,
like randomly.
it really depends on the company, yeah, or also
Yeah.
because
But I'm
the
I'm
big
talking about
companies,
the big companies.
yeah,
Yeah.
for example, EA, for sure they know what will happen and when it will happen, but for some smaller companies, I think it really depends on the how the game sells. For example, if The Witcher did not sell well, then probably there will be no additional DLC available for it or any other game, yeah. So, and if it sells well and people buy the game, so then there is a good reason to develop additional DLC for the game. So I
Hmm.
think there are two types, obviously, of DLC. The one that is already planned at the release of the game. For example, this includes the small ones like the skins, the armors, weapons, and stuff like that. And there are also some other bigger DLCs probably, which are being developed basing on how the game sells and is there any demand on new content for the game, yeah, also. And it of course depends on the type of the game. For example, a single player game will be different than multiplayer game, for example, like Evolve, which was already packed with a lot of DLC. Like there
Yeah.
was
That's
that
yeah.
I think there was DLC to the DLC in this game,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that was some different stuff than, for example, Witcher or GTA 5 or stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But in Evolve, like that game's DLC and the DLC, the way that they like made the DLC, that made people so mad. So all the forums and all the news and people were so mad about Evolve DLC. There were like so many different kind of season passes and different DLC things and uh, DLC bonuses from different shops, and there were so many stuff, and it was so messy.
No, that's the problem with the DLCs that I believe, because normally, currently, there's the question that CD Projekt Red already knew how many pre-orders they had, and maybe they surpassed the amount that they were expecting. Because I believe not necessarily the CD Projekt Red guys, but people at Activision with the Call of Duty, they should know the ratio that we get X amount of pre-orders, we get X amount of sales on the first week, and they should have it like almost in a science way, how much money they will make on each game corresponding with the amount of pre-orders that they'll get, so they can know and they can divert their efforts and their money to the DLC according to that. They will know how big the game will get for sure. It would be noticed as you know the traffic, and that would be an amazing number for us to know on how many on a AAA game, how much the pre-orders are in fact in percentage to the final sales of the game. Let's say 3 months down the line, then it's just residual sales unless the game comes into a discount and it can sell a bunch more units. But it would be nice to know if like Call of Duty sells 50% on pre-orders or if it sells 80%. And of course, with that amount, the people will know, nope, we already sold 1 billion copies. So now we can develop DLC specifically for this game. But so many games already say nope, like Watch Dogs and I don't know. I'm not even sure if Watch Dogs already finished releasing their DLCs. And like Assassin's Creed Unity, who the hell still cares about DLC for Assassin's Creed Unity? Probably the game hasn't been released for 1 year, and there's supposedly a season pass for it. Like, why? Why? What do people have to gain out of it? And that's the problem with the season passes. It's that they have to have it frequently and as the game releases, because if not, people will forget about it. And I'll say about my Steam library and probably Merrick and Laurie, my Steam library is full of games that I haven't even touched, and some are really, really big games. And I'm like, I can't even imagine buying the DLC extra when you buy like the Game of the Year edition for a game, and I have tons of them sitting there, Game of the Year edition to play, and I'm still like, one day I'll get to it, maybe, who knows? So it's a big mess. The DLCs maybe are like, if you want the full experience, please buy this, but you'll probably never even finish the game. So why would you want the DLC, the full DLC pack? I'm not sure.
Marek, you want to go on? Oh, and Togu dropped off for some reason.
Yeah, Togu drop off. I don't know. I have there are different types of DLCs for me, which are, because I have listed myself the worst DLC I've ever heard of and the best. The best would be, for example, episodes from Liberty City from GTA 4. That was the good. That was the good DLC, like the DLC for Bioshock Infinite was a nice one. I think Minerva's Den, the Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption, and stuff like that. There is also the bad DLC, like the famous horse armor for Oblivion. I don't know if you remember that. That was crazy. The Togu's favorite guy, Peter Molyneux, made a DLC for his Curiosity game. You remember this Curiosity mobile game?
Yeah,
and you could buy a special pickaxe for that game where you could like mine more dots with it for $50,000. That was the most expensive DLC ever, I think. There was a game, Saboteur, I think it's called in English, about the French Resistance, where you can, for $3 you can buy a DLC which made the nipples of the hookers visible.
That's a good game.
What game?
That's a good game.
What game is that?
That's a first-person perspective shooter set in French Resistance. You kill Nazis and stuff like that. Saboteur.
What game? What was the name? What was the name?
I will link you the exact DLC after the podcast, okay?
Okay.
The funny DLC was also for the Xbox avatar. You could buy Snooki from Jersey Shore hair.
What?
Yeah, but this is all like the small stuff, and the Wars DLC that you can get was in there was a game Asura's Wrath. I don't know if you remember that.
Dinosaurus Rat, yeah.
Yeah, this was the game that this was also almost like an animated movie, and you like a fighting game with bosses, and at the end of the game you knew who was behind all the bad stuff which happened in the game. So you just and you knew the name of the like the last boss, and then the game ended like a cliffhanger for like Asura's Wrath 2. And it would be nice for the second game, for example, but no, they released a DLC where you fight this boss after the game is finished. So in fact they released DLC for the ending of the game. So you had to buy additional DLC to play the last fight in the game. Yeah? So
That's crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. There's also some bad moves with DLC, like for example, do you know the game Train Simulator, which is like 99% of the game is DLC because you just buy a main engine and then you have to buy a separate track for additional money. Yeah, you get like one track in the main thing, but and then you have to. I think that you have to buy like 600 pounds, English pounds, for the whole package for all tracks which are in the game. So it's quite expensive. But
you're losing the best DLC ever, the Kart Arma 3 DLC.
But this was a joke. Like
that was cheap. I know,
was a testing. That was not. I think that the Marksman DLC is worse one with Arma.
I think
as you have
is worse.
as you have too much advantage in the game for but helis are for the guys that fly helis, and Marksman is like for everyone who shoots, and everyone who shoots in the game is like every player in the game, because Arma is all about shooting stuff. So if the DLC is limiting you to get the best gun in game, then something is wrong with that. So that's
Merrick, you obviously haven't made the pacifist run in King of the Hill.
Pacifist run.
You
have to make the pacifist run where you talk your enemies into killing themselves. Just annoy them.
No, that's a maybe pacifist. It's not the right word. Maybe like a cult leader.
A cult leader.
Like a cult. Yeah, like a little Manson kind of cult to get people to do stuff for you. That would be interesting.
Also, I have this interesting fact for you about DLC. I found the reports on gaming industry in USA for 2014, and like the whole industry was worth $22 billion, like everything, selling games and accessories and hardware and stuff. And EA in August 2014 said that they will earn $1 billion on DLC only, like from DLC only. 1 billion, or like 22 billion is the whole industry, and EA they wanted to make $1 billion from DLC in 2014. So you can see how much of a problem the DLCs and how much of an issue it is for EA. Like that's a lot of crazy money to get.
It depends on also what they consider DLC, because are they considering like in the FIFA the opening packs DLC?
But also Also, 350 million of that 1 billion is Madden NFL DLC.
Oh, so it
Oh,
has to be like buying packs or fantasy football.
Yeah, probably yes.
stuff.
And in 2014 in USA, also top 10 games sold by units for PC. 4 of them are some kind of DLC. Like there's in top 10, 4 game titles are like Reaper of Souls for Diablo. This is DLC, yeah, and World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor, and Seasons for Sims 3 and Island Paradise for Sims 3. So quite a big amount of sales are DLC for US, for PC market, of course, because it's only for PC market.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
The question about DLC is, I know that you guys are going to say to me that they will never change the model, that they are making money. But what I wouldn't mind them selling DLC was like if they started offering on games that you can't run in ultra or in ultra definition. If they said to the people like, here is your base game and you can buy it, let's say, cheaper than the $60 price, but you can buy the like texture packs and some cosmetics choices and stuff for extra, where we took out effort to make them on Ultra HD, but not every PC can run a triple SLI rig or whatever. Do you guys think that that would be a kind of day zero DLC, so to speak, that you guys would prefer?
No.
No.
That would be because
Everybody
if you,
thinks
if you
that
would,
they
if,
can run the game at full.
but what would be the reason? Like I bought a new computer, so now that I have a PC that can run games on Ultra, I have
But
to pay
let's say that
more
if you buy
about the
that game, it would be $60. But if you don't want the HD texture pack, that you would buy it cheaper.
Still,
No,
I don't think
I don't think that, because it's like they don't want to sell games cheaper. I don't think that.
Yeah, I know.
I've
They want to sell it at $100 with the season pass. That's
of
the
course,
full
of
game.
course, of course, of course.
But that's what
my,
they are.
My question was, which I thought about, what, because the all the complaining about DLC and even pre-orders is quite old, because when I was doing small research for that podcast, I found articles from 2012 which said exactly the same things as articles in 2015, that there is too much DLC, that people will not want to buy games which are based on DLC, that pre-orders are shit and everything is shit. And these were articles from more than 3 years ago, and nothing changed really, yeah. So because we are still, people are still complaining, yeah, this is the same. And so my question is, what do you think we are, in which point of the process we are now? So if it will get worse, or if it will get a bit better in the nearest future? Like what are your predictions? Yeah, for
my prediction is that it should get a little better because of the Arkham problems and the Steam refunds. I do believe that it has a little influence on them, not because a lot of people like to pre-order, but lots of people also buy on day 1 or day 2. That first week of sales is very important in terms of the games companies. But currently, when you pre-order a game, it's like when you're in Thailand and you see a nice, pretty young girl, and you don't know if she's a really girl or she's a lady boy, and it's like a surprise when you open that game on that first day. So this is a really, really tough decision. But currently, I think we are a very vocal minority that doesn't like pre-order games. I'm not sure how many gamers do even bother with that. Like, let's say a 15-year-old kid, does he wonder about the pre-ordering game, or does he just want?
No. And that's why my question was more about the DLC situation than the pre-order thing, because for me, I don't think that pre-orders will go away. They won't. People will pre-order games. They will know, and and they will do this all the time. Maybe it will drop in amount a bit, but the main thing is the DLC. Yeah? Will the DLC rule the gaming world more than it does now? And will
I
it
think
be
it's
a bigger problem for regular gamers?
yeah. I think it's gonna be worse because in some point I can already see it. It's gonna be like if you buy or pre-order NHL now, you will get half of the teams for free, and then you have to buy the rest of the teams and that kind of stuff. I think it's gonna be because the free-to-play model is getting bigger and the micro transactions is getting bigger. So uh, well, probably not for the AAA games, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be worse. Still, it's gonna be worse. Do
But
you,
also,
Token, want to change
No,
your answer?
no, I think it's getting, in terms of the DLC, it will get worse. But I'm not sure how much worse can it get from now. We're already selling season passes. So what are they going to cut more content out of games to
yeah.
switch that into
So
DLC?
what I was thinking about, what do you think about episodic games, like the games that you play, like you have to pay for each episode, like Telltale
I
games?
think that's a good model because if it ends up like my normal games, I would buy episode 1 and keep it on my Steam library for 3 years, and then eventually I would maybe play it, and if I liked it, I would buy it on sales. So if I had like a vertical slice game where here's the first 4 hours of that game that people like, maybe I would play a little bit more, and if I liked, I would buy the next part slash pay extra for it. Maybe that would be a good solution if it's a vertical slice with the full content. If
Yeah,
it's not
but of
taking out
course the price have to be like proper, yeah.
reduced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reduced, of course.
So you guys, in a way, you're saying you want to get demos that have a cost.
No, it depends on the type of game. Of course, it cannot be applied on a first-person shooter like Call of Duty, but maybe on a
Why
first-person
not?
shooter
But
like Call of Duty
haven't
and
you played?
Battlefield 4, you could maybe play just single player
Haven't
or
you
just multiplayer.
haven't you played 2 episodes of Half-Life 2? And still waiting for the third episode of Half-Life 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so another question. Do you think that there are any good good parts of the whole DLC additional content model? Like, do you think that this enabled the industry to grow because the main players got richer, like EA, for example, yeah, and they like the gaming itself was bigger because of that, because people spent more money and there's more money in the industry, and this like the EA, the big players grew very big and also took with themselves the smaller players because more people went into gaming and more people were like happy to spend money on gaming things. Do you think that this some smaller gaming developer studios like could damn it, I don't have this word which I'm thinking.
If you're wondering, trickle down maybe to the other games, not sure.
I
But
mean that
no,
they like improved themselves because of the overall rising of the whole gaming industry, because of that people spend more and more money in the industry.
no, I honestly don't think that DLC or the success that some DLC is getting on the industry is being helpful. I think that sometimes the developers, not so much the publishers, have the off chance of trying in the DLC a type of game that then they will see, oh, people really enjoy this, like Blood Dragon for the for Far
Far
Cry
Cry 3.
3. where people thought, well, maybe a shooter with the 80s revivalism would be crazy and people would love it. And it turned out apparently a great DLC that I have again on my Steam to play. Still haven't played. It's a chronic issue with Togu. Maybe one of these weeks if I drop Rocket League. But EA, I think they just suck up the money, and if they see this DLC for Assassin's Creed and for Battlefield is making money, I'll just make Battlefield 5 sooner, or maybe the Battlefield 4 DLC that was supposed to be Hardline will become a full-priced game and then have its own DLC.
Yeah, and the funny thing about like Hardline is that people are like transferring back to Battlefield 4. Nobody's playing like Hardline anymore, and Hardline is in constant discounts in PS4 store and on Steam, and not on Steam, I mean Origin, and like everybody's playing like Battlefield 4 right now, and I think they learn. At least I hope they learned something about that. That they are making like that kind of game that should be a DLC. They are making that too early and like not that much difference, and not like
Yeah, the yearly franchises or 2-year franchises, I think are honestly doing more harm to the industry, because
yeah,
apparently they aren't leaving room for other games to appear and to grow. Because every year you can count new Assassin's Creed, new Call of Duty. Battlefield is each 2 years, but now you'll have Battlefield, you'll have Battlefront coming out this year, and then
yeah,
it's like, what other games can release and steal the spotlight of these IPs that already affirmed themselves, and new
uh,
Batman
and
and wherever.
also all the sports games.
Yeah, all the yearly sports games that could just improve to one year to the other with a small DLC, like pay 10 euros and you get the new teams. That's it. That's all we need on the new game.
Yeah, yeah,
The game's not broken.
yeah,
And each 2 years maybe a new legend, or 3 years, something like that. But of
yeah,
course, they make a fuck ton of money on those sports games, and that's why every year you have a new sports game, and every year is even better than the next. And normally it's like, look at the crowd is getting better, and just not a
yeah.
blur like
And
the old.
they are dropping like things off, and then in a few years they're gonna add them back in and just say, oh, we once again the sticks can broke and the glass can shatter and that kind of stuff. And people already forgot that the game used to do that, but they just took the things out, and now they just add those things back in.
So I don't think the DLC is doing particularly good or having a good effect on gaming. I think some DLC are good and allows you to explore the game or slash the engine of said game in a different way. I think they maybe are playing it too safe, and just like, here's for this game, all the DLC is this game related, or a new character, or a new set of armor, or a new mission to rob this bank, or whatever. And it's not like, no, well, with this engine we could create a new game mode, or we could throw in multiplayer or whatever. You don't normally see that sort of stuff. I'm not sure, Marek, about your favorite indie game and what you call the best indie title of all times, the Rebirth of Isaac. Will the Afterlife DLC come with the finally with the online multiplayer?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
So just a couple
If
more
if they
items.
if they were to add online multiplayer, they would add it at start. I don't think they will do this. But I would want them to do this because
Yeah,
that would
that's
be
like the
nice.
big change that everybody wants.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I'm okay with DLC as soon as the DLC is not the main part of the game. So like this ending DLC, and I remember there was Prince of Persia stuff with some epilogue DLC that you knew some new things to the main story of of the game, and as soon as they don't do this, I'm okay with even the smallest DLC, because I know that I will never buy any small DLC for the game, unless it's packed in some Game of the Year edition which is on sale. and and the big ones are can be very good. Yeah, so I'm okay with the big DLCs, which put some new gameplay and new light on the games which I already played. And I'm okay with the small DLCs because I will never buy them. And the only thing that I don't like is the the additional content that should have been in the main game.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
the question is when they steal parts of the game. Of course, if you
Yeah.
talk about the game like Witcher 3, that like
If
Glory,
of
I'm
course,
not
of
sure if
course,
Glory has ended it, but if the CD Projekt Red says now you can have more 5 missions that will take you an extra 20 hours, most people haven't even played probably the first 40 hours of the game. So it's like, why should I buy the next 20 hours if I haven't even finished the normal?
because I will play it sometime.
Yeah, that's the. I'll have the
Sometime.
game of the year, and eventually I'll dedicate all my life to this. Eventually, one day. Or you could have examples of DLC like the cosmetic of League of Legends. That's perfectly fine. I
Yeah,
don't
and
even care.
of course, I'm not okay with all the pay to win things. Yeah, like Marksman DLC for Arma 3.
Max, see, the Nvidia is OP.
Yeah, yeah. If the DLC gives me advantage in multiplayer online game, that it's wrong for me. So
Yeah,
Unless if
that's
you're
true.
only playing with people with the DLC, that's the
the
question,
the
right?
the real good and really amazing maybe, or surprising DLC model is the skins from CS:GO and from Team Fortress 2. I think because it originated in Team Fortress 2, where the all the additional content, this gives you nothing. Yeah, if you have
Yep.
CS:GO skills, skins, it's nothing really for you gameplay wise, but people pay crazy amount of money.
Have you bought any case, Merrick, or a key to open a case in CS:GO?
Yes, I bought it. I bought
Say
some.
aloud.
Yeah, why not? There's nothing wrong with that. I
Why
think
not? It's just money.
it just
Valve
no,
needs
no,
it.
but okay. I bought it from the money which I farmed in the game, so I did not spend any additional money, and it will be a pain in the ass to exchange these skins into the real money. So I thought, why not try some gambling in CS:GO?
Why not try some gambling? That should be a motto.
Yeah.
Why not try some gambling, kids? You need them.
Yes,
Learn your stats.
gambling in CS:GO is like it's a nice topic for some additional
So we should move on and
talk.
just let me reach out the conclusions and say pre-orders are the devil's work and DLC normally is bad but might be good if the developer is good. Something like that. But people love money, so DLC normally is not good. Oh, people, why? Why the money? Why?
And it's funny with almost all of our topics. The conclusion with Toku is always it's devil's work. Always. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, but of course, Togu also says it's not that bad. Like he says, early access is the devil. But after thinking, it's not that bad. But it's the devil.
In the right conditions, it's great, but you know, there are the exceptions, and they normally are really.
To be honest, I'm like I'm not such an enemy for the DLC and even for the EA business
Motto.
model, for because for example, all that Sims DLC, which is like I think the most bought DLC in the world. If I get one game, which is like, damn it, Mirror's Edge, for example, from EA for that, for me it's worth it because I do not spend any money on the DLC and additional content, but I played a very 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 good game for that, which maybe would never like be published. Even the Battlefield games are worth it if someone spends money gives money to EA so they can publish it. So overall, I think it's like the only condition is that the DLC will not be a part of the game, and if they are a part of the game, like story wise and like the part of the main game, if the rest of the game is priced correctly, then I would be okay with that. As an example, you can have those episodic games from Telltale. Well, each part is priced correctly, yeah.
So, or lower than the usual 60 euros / 100 if you want the
Yeah.
season pass with
But
DLC
it's-
that we don't
but
disclose
I
what it
think
is.
those Walking Dead games still are expensive because I think
Yeah,
if you buy them on the release day, they are like 20 euro for each part. So it's like if there are
No.
five. No, 20.
I think it's 20 euros. You buy the whole lot, the first 6 episodes.
Yeah,
then
20
you have-
euro is the whole thing.
Yeah, now, but I mean when they are released
on release,
on time.
Release.
You are
Release,
sure?
because-
I'm
Yeah,
almost
because
sure
when
that, for example,
I bought the Game of Thrones,
yeah,
and when it came out, it was something like 25 euros, and it gave me all the episodes.
Okay.
There was the first one was only out, but
Yeah,
they
okay.
it gave me all the episodes. It's like something like 5 to 9 euros a piece per episode.
yeah,
think.
okay. Full series is 28 euro for Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I don't have the full. What is the cost of each episode because I think it's finished.
I think
the first season is finished.
I think the part of more episodes probably you can get them. It's on mobile, I believe. It's more easy to get just episode 1, episode 2. Just saying. I think episode 1 is actually free on mobile to get you.
Yeah, for each game, the
Because
first episode is free.
Mobile gaming is the devil. It's ruining lives. Look at Konami. Okay. And talking about Battlefield 4, and that's a good point about the single player campaign of Battlefield 4 because it relates with the news. Can we go to the news maybe? No?
Yeah, sure.
Because one of the news this week was the end of the console ban in China. So Xbox One, Wii U, and PlayStation 4 are all wet and ready to go to China and whore themselves out to the Chinese people. And I believe, as we are seeing in some movies, like the one that just came out, Pixel, where they took out a part where apparently the Great Wall of China was being torn down or eaten or whatever. I think some games from the main publishers will avoid some maybe controversial themes with China because we're talking a big market of potential players there. So Battlefield 4, as you may remember or not, those that play the single player campaign, you're US versus China in the South China Sea. So I'm pretty sure that Battlefield 5, 6, 7 won't mention China as the bad guys. Because they will start auto-censoring themselves to prevent prevent obviously first the Chinese government not allowing the game to be sold there, and then obviously not to piss off their clients. So I wonder how much games like, and not talking about one specific that says China is the devil, and I'll say everything is the devil, but like say Papers, Please, that's on PlayStation 4. Do you think it would be released in China currently? Like a game about
Probably not.
border control, fictitious
Yeah.
border control on the, So I wonder how many publishers that will want to target that market will tone down their games slash change some of their vision for the games
I
to
I think
please that
yeah.
audience, because we're talking a
I,
big market.
yeah, but I think like indie game makers, most of them won't because they think like almost every indie game maker developer, they think their game is some kind of fucking art, and
But
that's like
now you have developers that work constantly with Sony guys, and Xbox are also launching their own take on the indie games. So
yeah.
you have some developers that already launched one game, and now they're like, well, now we'll have also to launch this in some certain markets that are more, that second game. Will they turn sellouts? Will they please the Sony guys that help them with this distribution of X more amount of million copies? Or will they stick with their vision and say, no, we screw that?
Yeah, but I think they can if like for example a smaller indie company that makes a game for consoles and Sony says that they have to tone it down on some parts to get
Mm-hmm.
it to a bigger market, then I I probably they could like do that and they could like then for example make a different game that could have the things that they wanted to do. Or that kind of like they can make games to how do you say to for profit, and then
Mm-hmm.
they probably could make games that are have a soul or something like that. But I don't.
Merrick,
Yeah,
Merrick, tell
yeah.
me, you that lived also on a communist oppressed country, what do you what do you think that might happen in terms of the China? Do you think the outside world will bend their rules a bit to please that market, and we'll see any changes in the game development? Or do you think it's just they'll just sell consoles there, they'll play Splatoon all they want, and nobody gives a damn about what?
No, I think that of course they will think about this, and they will maybe not change existing titles, but for sure there will be some censorship from the Chinese government. Like if they decide that, for example, Papers, Please is not suitable for Chinese market, it will be not available in
In
PlayStation
China?
market in China, because there will be separate market for sure. Like it's for Europe and US and Japan. Yeah, so for sure there will be separate market, and of course I can see, like as you said, Battlefield 5 having bad guys from Islamic State or Russia, because this is what is now um,
Yeah.
what is these are the trends now probably. So no more Chinese people as a bad guys, maybe even as a good guys. That would make some more sense.
No, the good guy will always be a white guy for now, at least in those creative minds in EA, Inter and Activision. It's like white dude against the world. America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe it's possible that there will be a separate campaign for Chinese. Maybe.
But uh, that's well, of course I prefer not to have any influence, and if at all, I would love to see some games developed by Chinese people to come outside. They should be a interesting take in terms of gaming, because they are a huge market, and I bet they have awesome professional people over there working their butts off. I just hope that we don't see too many cases of major publishers and AAA industry, first of all, trying to make a separate version for China, and sometimes, like Google, runs into trouble with the Chinese government because they ended up breaking the rules X amount of times until the Chinese government gets upset, and then they ban Google from China for 3 months. That with constant bannings from a huge clientele that I think they're estimating around 100 million users slash players, console people. Hello?
Hello? Yeah, Laurie.
Oh, Laura dropped. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, so I just hope that we won't see the eventual auto censorship from the Western people regarding the games. I want the games to come out as the developers saw it originally. Being the bad guys Portuguese, being the bad guys Finnish, being the bad guys American, being the bad guys UK people, and UK people should always be the bad guys. They even have the accent for it. Obvious. Jet killed.
Maybe the stories will be more universal, like, you know,
I hope
not
the
the military,
gets.
but some kind of more less military country based, but more mercenaries and stuff like that, and some, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I think I missed out. What were you talking
no,
about?
we were just saying that we hope that the Western world doesn't auto censorship their own games to please the Chinese overlords that own the debt of all the countries in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically that.
It
So
really,
we
Yeah.
it
hope
also really depends on what is the real potential of the Chinese market. Like, will the Chinese buy the PlayStation 4?
it's
But
Japanese, right? They might
Yes.
go for the Xbox,
but you
who
know,
knows?
Yeah, exactly.
but if they will, if they will start to get consoles, because and like all the stuff, I think in the end we are gonna die, like as a human race. We are gonna die.
This is the good thing to end the
Because-
stream. If they get the console, we are gonna die.
You know, all the trucks, all the ships going in and transferring the stuff, and they getting new consoles, and I think the Earth is gonna explode. That's my take on it.
That's it. So selling consoles to China is the devil coming into Earth.
Yeah,
Already has
it's the
said it.
devil. That's the yeah.
Is there any more pieces of news that we want to talk? Mafia 3 is coming out. Apparently, it's being announced. I
Yeah.
believe the trailer is next week or something like that, right?
Have you guys played the first two?
Yeah, I played the first one, but just like for an hour or maybe two.
Okay, so you are a true fan. Maybe
I watched Godfather, so that makes me an expert in Mafia. That's it.
Okay.
Did you play
And,
the two parts, Laurie?
No, I didn't. I didn't either. I didn't play.
Well,
I-
it's on
I-
sale now on Steam. Go get it. Keep it in the Steam library forever. The Game of the Year edition is there with all the DLC.
Yeah, actually, I would like to play the Mafia 2, but I don't know when I have the time to play it.
Exactly. Questions. And I think that's it for news. There's still the Konami keeps leaking out stuff.
Oh
Because,
yeah,
apparently,
the Kojima. There
And
is
Del
a
Toro are
rumor, yeah,
still
that they will do something with Del Toro, without Konami. So we can still hope for the Silent Hill like game in the future.
or yeah, something like that. Konami. We'll talk about Konami when the time comes in like 1 month when it
Konami is the
releases
devil.
the Metal Gear 5. I think it's coming out. Is it in August? Isn't it? Right? Something like that. It's before Fallout, so we'll see how the game comes out and how much is it to pay to win slash DLC slash season pass slash everything.
How many refunds there will be for that?
Konami at least doesn't. Nah, not sure. I don't know their game history that much. I only played the Pro Evolution Soccer and the Metal Gear Solids. I'm not sure if they release broken games. I know they are terrible in media. Not sure in terms of the development of games if they are terrible. At
They,
that. So
yeah, their conferences are crazy.
but that's Japanese people. It's a different type of market. So I think it's time to pass to the games that we've been playing. So I'll start with me because I'm egocentric, and I've been playing Rocket League because I'm addicted to car soccer. and I need to get all the hats. I need the DLC hats, and Rocket League will have DLC, and I hope that it's just cosmetic and new cars cosmetic, and
Yeah,
they
there's a
aren't
free
good.
DLC coming with for sure. There is a new stadium, new arena for. I've seen pics on Steam, and there is some cars. They said they will not do any like gameplay DLC, so I hope they will keep their word, because I don't want to see any gameplay DLC
Yeah,
changes.
with the success that they are having, that they totally, I don't think they expected it that the game would do so well, even with the PlayStation Plus free for the past month, for this month still. I hope that they don't go on AAA frenzy and like DLC everything and start putting in, if you want to play the newest car that's faster and stuff, you have to pay us. Or if they can keep it to cosmetic changes, just I don't care. I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
I just like the
Or
game as it is. It's very addictive for small bursts. That's
yeah.
how I've been able to play.
Or they are probably gonna make the second one come out this Christmas. That could happen. They are gonna make the next big Rocket League really early
Maybe.
because of all the hype. But I have to say, even I really like the game. It's the best beer game to play with friends.
Nice.
It really
So
is.
it's been a big. You've been playing on the PlayStation 4, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You,
Actually, I don't even know if I can. Like I have been playing it on online and
hmm
also playing with a friend, like co-op, online and offline. But I don't even know. Can you play the game as like split screen for like 4 players? Does
Uh,
anyone know?
I
no,
know,
you can. You can. It splits the screen if
but it's
you had like 4 remotes
is it
there.
4 players or 2 players
Can
only?
you play with
I think it's until I think it's up to 4 players on local.
Oh, that's
At least
nice.
3. I've seen pictures of the screen being split at least to 3, so I believe it can go to
Okay,
4.
yes, probably
And
4.
you can now imagine Laurie in the co-op sauna with 4 controls, just playing Rocket League, hitting the
Yeah,
ball really hard.
It's all about balls
It's all about balls.
and scoring
Yes,
goals.
it's a very very good game to pass some time, and I've been playing far more than I should have, probably not trying new games. So Marek, tell us, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been playing Rocket League, this game which was released a couple of weeks ago, and I must say it's really addictive, addicting. No, but seriously, I've been playing Rocket League and some Counter Strike, and of course, just not to play, not to speak about Rocket League more, which I've been playing a lot. I played a bit Spelunky, and because I did not play Spelunky before, because I did not have the controller, and I think that it's totally better to play this game with the controller than to play this game with with the keyboard. And I must say that if I had top 6 games in one of our episodes, then the 6th game would be Spelunky, because it's a genius platformer, a roguelike game, randomly generated and very very much skill based. Like most, you have to have the skill to play this game, and each time you fail, you know that you did it because of lack of your skill and not because of the RNG. For example, there is much more RNG in Isaac than there is in Spelunky, and it's also not such memory-based game as, for example, Boshi is, which is trolling you if you don't remember everything correctly. So for me, it's like the perfect platformer and one of the best games ever, and worth every money which you can spend. And I need to play that more.
We need to see Merrick on stream on the same screen 1,000 times. If not, Boshi is better. Just
Yeah, I already streamed a lot of Spelunky before. This was, I
we
think,
need it. We need
the
on the
first,
controller
the
if you
first.
can resist the Rocket League hype.
Yeah. Rocket League is the boss now. I also played some strategy games, Unity of Command, which is a very nice small strategy game about the World War in the Eastern Front, mostly because I have the
What kind
Stali.
of game is that? Is it RTS?
No. This is because I don't like RTS games. I like the games with the counters. I am the board gamer at heart, and I love moving counters on the board game, and I love war games, board games, and this is as close as you can get, almost, with a bit better graphics than the counter representation. So you just move units on the hexagonal board, and there are some odds between the units when you attack and stuff like that. There's supply lines and air support stuff, so it's a nice game. It's fairly simple because there are games that are very, very complex in this genre, and I like them too, but this one is fairly simple and easy to get into, and just nice to relax if you enjoy this kind of games.
You know, two people that moved units on the board and didn't go life well for them. Rob Stark and Robert and Stannis Baratheon. Just saying.
Yeah.
Spoilers. If you didn't get that reference, don't search it up. Laurie, tell us anything else that you've been playing, Merrick?
No.
So, Laurie, tell us the co-op Finnish sauna. Have you been playing besides Rocket League?
Did you play snooker in the sauna? Moving the balls with your sticks.
I have to say, I couldn't understand anything what Marek said because the voice is getting so bad, so I couldn't really answer.
Marek has been playing, if you can hear me, Unit of Command, Rocket League, Spelunky that he loves, apparently more than Bosch, and that's a sacrilege, and I'm not going to lower myself to discuss that on stream, and also CSGO, if I believe that were...
Okay, yeah. Okay, I really didn't get any of the voices going so bad, but yeah. What I have been playing, actually I tried
Daisy?
to play the new, well, not so new anymore, but the shooter, Dirty Bomb.
Oh, the free-to-play.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying it?
I played it for what could I say, maybe for an hour. It was really fun and actually a really nicely made game, but I have a problem with those kind of games that you really have to like empty your whole clip to like, for example, I don't like Team Fortress because of that. I like more like realistic kind of games. Like there are exceptions for that, but I like to like really be on my toes to get easily killed and kill easily and that kind of stuff. So the game was fun, but I still don't like the way that you need to really shoot that much.
Yeah, I also saw the streams of that game, and the amount of bullets you have to put in the enemies is like crazy.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know if there's like this different kind of loadouts, so I don't know, can you get like better weapons with it, or that do more damage or something? I don't know, that would be really a pay to win thing to do, but like the game is not a nice game, but too hard to kill enemies for me. So that's a no-go. Do I have any different game? Well, I have for the co-op games. I have played the game called Apatheon. you guys know the game.
Which one?
I think it's called Aboteon. Aboteon. It's this like looks like this Greece Egypt hieroglyphic kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Some streamers were talking about it on the other day. It's a new game, sort of.
Sort of. I think it's like maybe it came out like 6 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a really fun game. You can only play it 1 versus 1 on multiplayer. Also, I think it has a pretty nice single player campaign, but it's a really fun. It's this kind of you go around in this. It's a like side scroller, and you battle your friend, and you will find different kind of weapons from the field, and you will try to kill the other one. It's really simple, but a really nice game. It's like this gladiator kind of game, you may say.
Yeah, the graphics, it's like those Greek vases, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
pottery.
hieroglyphic. I don't
The
know
Greek
if
classic.
that's the English word, but yeah,
Something
exactly.
like
It's really it has a really fun graphic style.
that. I heard the single player is hard when you try to go against bosses and stuff. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I haven't played the single player, but I watched my friend to try it out, and it was really fun looking, and the bosses were actually pretty hard. Yes. But I think those are the two games, the new games that I have been playing, I think. Yeah. So those are my games.
So, is it time for Togu random question of the day?
Yes.
Yes.
What's this gonna be?
I love throwing the random questions of the day. Besides, Laurie, why are you playing with a knife on screen? Just say, don't play with knives.
You mean I'm
I
just
mean,
I always have to have something on my hands.
Too much
yes,
too much
but in the
CS:GO
Sunday,
talk.
it's another thing. I hope.
What?
No.
What? I didn't hear you.
I was just saying that in the sauna. I hope you don't play with that knife around.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You should have another weapon. So I'll make you a music-related question. Tell me each one of you, and we can start with Merrick. And I have a suspicion that most of you will say heavy metal. But name like 3 of your favorite albums ever in terms of music. No, from the time when people listen to the whole album.
My 3.
It doesn't have to be the top 3, just 3 that you really like.
One is for sure the third album by Portishead. Like, this is my favorite.
The third one, really?
The third,
Yeah,
yes, the third is
It's
totally.
the third. It's actually called third.
Yes, it's called third. It's not like it's. I think it's third, but if you count Live in Roseland as a separate album, which is also great, then you could call this fourth album. But the name is third, and it's like the best. It's my top 1 album ever, like the best one. No argue with that. And this album made me go to every Portishead concert that is in Poland and will be in the future. So yeah, it's a very important album for me and my best one. So 2 others, maybe, I don't know what could I name. Maybe Radiohead, OK Computer.
Damn it! I also have that one. Fuck.
Yeah, like it's a very good album. Yeah,
It's a great album.
it's a great album. But also I could mention Kid A, which is so much different and still almost better than OK Computer for me. And the third album would be like not mentioning any Polish music. Then third album for me is like one of the most important albums in my life, which was the Nirvana's Bleach album. So I bought it a long time ago, and it really made impact on my music taste and my music playing for a long time. So these would be there are a lot of more albums which I love and which are very important for me, but these three at this moment, I would mention these three at this moment.
Laurie's just showing knives, all the random knives that he has on his desk currently.
These are like I collect these, so there are some random knives here too.
I like Dummy, but for me, Portishead showed their true skill on the third album. Dummy is maybe a bit more mainstream, a bit more accessible, but like the true craftsmanship for music is the true artistry of music is shown on the third album, and yeah, this is the shit.
Had always great albums. Laurie, do you want to answer, or do you want me to go first while you think about it, or do you already know?
Well, well, because of both of your guys' voice, to me, it's getting really crazy, and I have a really big trouble to hear you guys.
Disconnect/connect again.
It didn't do anything. It's I did it, but it's still the same. But I'm really trying to listen, so I hear you're talking about albums, and I heard Marek's answers in a way, but the question was the top 3 albums of all time.
No, just top 3 albums of music that you like. It doesn't have to be like your really top 3. Just 3 albums that you love.
That I like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a really hard one because I have so many. I probably cannot even give, because right now I'm thinking this is like the best albums I know, and I have a big pressure now on my shoulders. But it's probably one of them should be the In Flames earlier albums, because I was listening In Flames from how do you say it? What's the first school you go called?
Preschool?
Preschool, yeah, preschool. From there, and if that's where's the 1 to 6th grade? Is that preschool?
Elementary school. Primary school.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. But because I have been listening that band so long, so it has a really big impact for my music taste, I think. Even though I do listen really broad scale music, but like that's one of my favorite bands, and I also have a self-made, drunkly made tattoo of In Flames on my toe. That I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm not gonna show it right now, but it was a great after party that I made it by myself. But In Flames, maybe. I really cannot say what's my favorite album, but I will just put generally In Flames out there. It's there, and damn, I really cannot say. There's so many. You wanna answer this, Toku? I will think.
Yeah, I'll go fast. For me, some of the 3 albums that I love, and I'll try. Okay, Computer was one of them, but Marek stole that one, so I'm going a different route. So first one, I would say probably 10 by Pearl Jam. I love that album. It's been with me for a long time, and every music is just great. And I've been to 2 Pearl Jam concerts at least, so it's a great album. I also like a British trip hop band, but it's a different one from Marek. besides Portishead being great also, that's Massive Attack and their Blues Lighting album. That's just another masterpiece. And since Merrick said OK Computer, I'll have to say Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins. Just to mix it up. That's okay, that's a sheet. That's a double album, so it fits more songs. But I really also loved it. Most curiously, it's all albums that came out in my teen years. I'm getting old. Clearly, my teen years were the time of depression and listening to full albums. That's what I get from that reveal. Laurie, do you have yours?
I think I have to come back on this on some other time because I'm really having trouble because I cannot just think it's like
Tell us, Iron Maiden. We know you love Iron Maiden. No.
mm,
No?
like
That's
I
Jad
listen
and
to,
and
I
Dan.
can listen to Iron Maiden,
That's
but
and then
it's not
Iron
it's
Maiden
not
is great. Also,
yeah, but
Manowar.
but
Some,
I yeah, but I haven't really really listened to Iron Maiden. They have good songs, of course, but it's not on my it wouldn't be on my list.
well, we'll need to have Laurie tweet at us, and we'll distribute the madness of music
Yeah, but
around.
there's like so many
Merrick, you
because
were talking. No, go, Laurie. Sorry.
yeah, but there's like different categories and different genres and it's too much to say only three. I cannot I cannot do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Merrick was talking in chat about the Sigur Rós, that it's a band that I love, but honestly, even if I wanted to say a name of one of their albums, I couldn't. So,
Yeah,
so I'm not.
I think one of their albums is named Sigur Rós. So
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the one with the song with the weird singing. That one. Sigur
I
Rós.
remember one song mostly which I used to listen. It was Ni something. Ni. Damn it. Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, don't worry, it's Sigur Rós. Laurie should know a little bit more about maybe the lyrics than us. Maybe not sure if he goes. Laurie is randomly getting swords now.
Togo, you named
What?
Pearl Jam's 10
Yeah.
as your album. What do you think about any progress that Pearl Jam made
I think
after
Pearl
this
Jam
album?
released good albums until Yield, maybe. I liked 10, I liked Versus, I liked Vitology, I liked No Code, Yield that had the Do Evolution. It was still a good album. And then they went to By Natural, I believe, and that one not that good. And the last one I can't even remember the name. It had the Fixers song on it. Not sure what's the name of the album. It's been way too many, but I think they just ran out. Like Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins had their biggest success until Ava Adore album, I believe.
The album was Adore.
Adore.
Yeah. The song was
And after
Avador.
that, with the Deus Maxima and stuff, and the free albums online, it just wasn't the same after that one. They simply apparently lost their touch. Like maybe you can say a little bit about the Radiohead albums that they just go crazy and crazy. Because you had OK Computer, then Key Day, and then what was the name of the next ones? In Rainbows?
No. Before In Rainbows, there was.
The one with the there, right?
Yes,
Not sure.
yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure of the name of the album.
Something like that. Yeah, I really love In Rainbows. It's like I could mention this as well as I loved In Rainbows as an album. I remember it was released pay what you want, and I bought it.
And you bought it for $1? No, zero.
No. I think I bought it for like $5, something like that. I even remember it. I remember when I bought it exactly, but I don't really remember. I know that it was more than $1. It was free,
It was more than
free or
$1.
$5, and less than
and
10, less than 10,
But
for
that
sure.
for Poland is a fortune. You can open a hotel with that
Yes,
kind
yes,
of money.
course, of course, of course.
So that is it. Do we have anything else to talk about besides the random weird Togu questions that Togu asks from time to time? Are we
Yeah.
done?
Good. That they are good questions, but really I cannot anymore hear
Next
what you
time I'll
guys say.
maybe
So it's
prepare you to one, maybe, not sure. I just get like, oh, why not ask them about
Panda
this?
mentions the Darkness as his album. Damn it! I thought that the Darkness was one hit wonder, but
Panda always wanders in the dark.
Sex Pistols. Damn it, Panda.
Oh, you know how it is. He's a Brit.
Yeah, he's
They love that stuff over there, the punk rock. And so, thanks, Merrick and Laurie, for this wonderful talk. Thanks, people from chat. I'm pretty sure we'll mail this podcast to the AAA developers tomorrow, and we'll change the world about the pre-order / DLC practices. We'll make a difference, people. Maybe.
yeah.
No,
That's
one
gonna
day, alien race will find the leftovers of Earth, and will see this podcast, and they will say, "These guys were genius."
I must say one thing. This podcast is the devil.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
think it
true.
should be.
It's the devil.
This
But
podcast
also
will be the-
no problem.
no problem. The trolling of Rocket League. And the only bad thing about Rocket League, it's so far it's the lack of crossplay. It's crossplay between PlayStation and PC, but the lack of crossplay party between
Yeah,
PlayStation
yeah.
and
If you
PC.
could, that is something that most people want. Like,
They should really fix on that, and because then we can play with Laurie and have the Dsync podcast team to go on ranked matches and lose miserably, unless Laurie plays amazing. Because I know I don't play well. Merrick, he's humble, but he's much better delivering pros and Ps to Middlesbrough than playing Rocket League. So, we'll see.
Togu, you hurt my feelings. Really?
Merrick, please, you beat me 7-1. I have to come back at you sometimes.
No
7-1.
problem. No problem. No problem.
No problem.
Okay, so
Shame.
no
Shame.
problem. No problem.
Shame.
You guys should hear what do I hear? This is like two robots arguing about something that I cannot really understand what they are saying.
The
Like
Chinese
aliens,
move all
alien
over
robots.
out here.